Okay, guys. So what we saw in our last video is connecting the Telegram bot with your n8n, which is nothing but giving the body and the nervous system connecting. But today, what we are going to do is make an entire synchronous system that will have the LLM, the Telegram bot, and working inside the n8n. Now, what we are building is we'll create a bot that will actually work or give us at a very scheduled time every morning, will give us all the newses that we want to see. So that's the goal of building. Now we all know. Now this is what you have seen in our previous video, that this is how we connected. Now from this screen, we are going to go to a view like this where we have a scheduler, which is this. We have the brain, the LLM, which is connected with OpenAI, and then few connectors that we have added that will help us fetch more information. I'll talk more about that. And then this information will pass on to the Telegram bot. So what we see is every morning at 8 a.m. we are going to get an information from inside Telegram. So it's a info that it's a entire uh, info watch, or rather to name it, and to have all the informations from top newses, uh, price of the price of our currencies, cryptos, oil prices, and many others. Okay, and we can keep on extending this as you want to. Now, what we first thing is needed is a scheduler. Now, this is a scheduler. What you have to do is we need this schedule trigger, and this schedule trigger says, now once we are here, you can actually let me delete this. I'll open this one. So it says every day, which is the interval, and between, so what is the interval days is 1 day. So 1 day at a time. And then there is a trigger at hours, which is 8 a.m. And we don't want to put any minutes. So you can put anything as you want, the 9 a.m., 9:30, 9:15, whatever you want. So that's the scheduled trigger. Okay. We are not getting automatic trigger. It's a scheduled trigger. Okay, because we want Telegram to send us information instead of we reaching out like a chat and getting information. We want that functionality. But we can also extend that functionality that, okay, I can chat with the LLM as well as every morning it should give me information, all the information, all round information altogether. So that also can be done. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you can also build that. So, but we can extend that later on. So once the schedule trigger is done, we need an AI system, right? So this is the AI system. We will have an AI agent to come into picture, and this is our same way. This is our AI agent, and you see, I have chosen a tool agent. There are other conversational agent, functions, planner, React, but we have to use a tool agent. And then we say it is defined below because it is coming from a trigger. So it has to be like defined below is the prompt that we are passing. I will not touch the prompt at this moment. Let's talk about the prompt at a later stage. Okay. Now this is where we will add the user prompt, which is very important, as well as the system prompt. The system prompt is nothing but it gives the personality to the LLM, what type it is things, and the user prompt is what we are trying to achieve from it. Okay, so we'll touch base on this later on. But more importantly is I am adding few brains. Now the brain is the OpenAI. How do I add it? If you go here, you can just add, click, let's say delete it. You can add, and then there are all the different types of LLMs that you can add. If you can choose Anthropic, you can choose Gemini, you can choose Grok, Grok, you can choose Google. uh, if you remember, we had another video where we are using free APIs, free LLMs, right? So you can choose, look into that video how to access that. But you can use Grok to use those free LLMs. But here I am using OpenAI, so I'll choose OpenAI from here. Now it is just the connector I will add. Now, also once you this is the first time if you're creating, you need to add an API key to the OpenAI. So which is, once you click here, there is an OpenAI account. So you have to create a credentials. Now I have the credentials created. If you want to see how to create new credentials, please look into that video, because I don't want to extend this video that much. So look into that video. I'll pop it up over there on the screen. So how to access OpenAI keys and everything. Now, once this information is there, you can choose any of the GPT models that you want. Multiple models will come up, but let's stick to GPT 4.0. Now, the brain is GPT at this point. Now, I am adding few of the information from where. So, one of the thing that happens is, if you do not, like if you are putting a question and there is a straightway answer to it, the LLM is trained on a specific data, the entire internet, and they have a cutoff date. Like, so what is happening today, it might not be able to give, right? Because of the fact it was trained at a very different time frame. So till that date, the training data is going to answer. So what we have to do is we have to connect latest information, because we are connecting what is the latest price of crypto, what is the latest price of Sensex, Nifty, the stock market, oil prices, and the latest news. So we need somewhere to connect to the internet, right? So that's where we need to connect to tools, and these tools are multiple tools that are going to help us. Uh, so, for example, I am pulling in currency rates, I am pulling in crypto prices, I am pulling in weather, I am pulling Nifty and Sensex separately, and then there is a Serp API, which is a Google API. Okay, I'll come on each at a time. So, it just to add tool is what tool you want. Now there are, if you see, there are no tools available. Not many tools are available, but we have to connect an API. So what you have to do is HTTP request. So we have to do an HTTP request. Once it is here, you can see what is the method. Now once we are pulling in, that's a get method. Okay, and then here I pull a URL. What is the API, or what is the main source of this knowledge that we are trying to pull? So that's the API key that we pass. And then if there is an authorization key or API key that is there, we have to pass in as authorization, or we can send as a header. Now I'll show you something. Is that, take an example. We have added fetch currency rates. Okay. So what we are doing is, you go to frankfurter.dev, and then I'm saying the base is USD, and I want for INR, SAR, AED, and BHD. Okay, I want this exchange rates based on what is the dollar value to it corresponding, and I'm saying get this, and it is completely free. So we do not need any information, or any. We don't have to pass any credentials. So I'm saying fetch current USD exchange rate for INR, SAR, Saudi Riyal, AED, uh, and BHD, return JSON, rates and object, no parameters needed, just call the tool. Okay. So this is what I'm passing in. So this is what we want to reach to frankfurter.dev. Okay. To get the currency rates. Same way, this is, by the way, this is an HTTP request, because Frankfurter does not have a straight tool like that. Okay, and I tell you what is a tool straight away that is available with n8n. But imagine these are not available, but I want to connect to. Now imagine crypto. Same way, I'm saying coingecko.com, and then I'm saying I need IDs of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. We can change as it is. Okay, and again same, you're saying get method, and then fetch all these informations that are needed. Okay, same way, I'll share the links of all this, don't worry about that. Then weather, same way, openmeteor.com. I'm saying the latitude and longitudes, which city I want to see. Then I am saying get me the Nifty, and this is where I'm reaching out to Yahoo Finance, and I'm saying this is the link. So we are reaching out to Yahoo Finance on that. And same way, we are also reaching out to Sensex, because these are two different identities, okay, or exchange platforms. So Nifty and Sensex. I can keep on adding multiple items. Let's say you want the oil data, so we can go to an oil system where oil API might come in. Again, another we can fetch in an HTTP request. Now, for example, what I mean by tools available, it said this is a SERP API, this is a Google API. So I can type in Serp. And you see, Serp API official is available to us. And this is nothing but this one. In order to use Serp API, we need to get credentials. Now, how do I do a credentials? You go to search for Serp API, search for Serp API, and the first thing is that you show Serp API Google Search API. Now, there's a very interesting API key actually, which is very helpful. And then you will find your API key here, okay, your entire API key. And every month they gives 250 search that is available, and you can see all these APIs can be connected like Google Search, Google Finance, Google Flights, Google Hotels, Google Images, everything is there. So if you want to build something, then Google is the best place to get all this information. And how do we get this? We can get it via search API. Okay, so this is what we get. So what you have to do is copy this API key and go back, create a credentials, add your API key, and then it will be saved. Okay, so the same thing is available to us. So I'm not creating one more. So that's where we are adding some of these tools to get the LLM get into the real information, the information that are currently available to us. So we have connected the nervous system. We are on top of the nervous system, and then we will now connect the body to it because we need the uh, Telegram bot to help us get all this information. Now, before we connect to, imagine we have added the brain and we have added all these tools the brain need to work on, but we have not said what we need actually from this brain to do, because it's trained on huge information. I've given in huge information, but what I need to extract, what I need to build from there, so that something has to be passed, and that's what I have to tell about the prompts. That the prompt is how I talk to an LLM, how I talk to the brain to work or give me a output that is that I desire to get, right? So a prompt is the a language that we talk to a LLM. Always remember that. So the better the prompt, the better the output. So there is always a concept called garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage in prompts, you will always get garbage output. So your prompt has to be very specific. It has to be standard, and there are different ways of writing prompts. Okay, it is not a ideal prompt that I'm saying, but I'll create a different video where you can actually understand how to write very better prompts on top of it. But so this is where the prompting needs to be done. And imagine this. So I'm saying today is today dot dot format. So I'm saying that whatever you want to extract from the information, it is has to be today, based on today. Okay, so that's where the first thing I have to say to the LLM, that the moment I say today, it will always search for the tools instead of its own knowledge base, because it does there is a cutoff date when it was trained, so it knows that today information is not able to it. So I'm saying you are InfoWatch, the name that we are given, and an elite geopolitical, financial, and crypto intelligence analyst. Uh, you have access to these tools that we are saying: currencies, crypto, weather, stock, Nifty, and Sensex, and then news. Important to do onliners. Some information that I'm saying, all this news has to be put forward via SERP API, because Google search will give us that information. But I do not want Google search to fetch the other informations which are crypto and all those, because that will consume lot of those searches from me. So it's better I use free tools that are already available that gives us more information, the same information. So I'm not, you have to also think how to less consume your resources and make sure that you, for example, there are always tokens that are consumed, right? So how do you reduce the charges? That is also a trick, or that is also a skill set. So that's where you have to write better prompt, and there are different prompting techniques also that helps you to create all this. Now, that's a true story of a different day, but we are using SERP API, and I'm saying how do we search is that Iran-Israel war, because we want to see those information, what is happening. So I'm saying based on today and all these parameters that we are passing in. And then we are passing oil context, all this information, stock sentiment, use SERP API to search Indian stock market and Sensex for today, get a one-liner sentiment. And then the format, I'm saying these are the format that I want to see this output to be. So once all the data is collected, producing final Telegram message, and then I'm setting some rules that the LLM has to follow. what I said, you must call every tool listed above. Do not skip any. Use exact values from each tool responses. And there are a lot of other stuffs that we have added. And then there is an output format that I want to see in the Telegram Markdown, which is a Telegram mode output only for this final message. I'm saying info watch and today's date should be there. And then I'm saying top stories along with the headlines. Now this is, see, these are placeholders. Now where the placeholder is coming, there is a headliner that I have said when talking is the news is here, and I'm saying each headline has to come. So I'm saying headline is a placeholder for us, and that's how we are getting this headline, five headlines, because I've specified I need five important key newses. Then I'm saying oil and energy, Brent price and price, because all these are placeholders, by the way. One sentence on driver, Indian stock exchange, one sentiment, risk and breakouts, market outlook, how it looks, crypto pearls, currency snapshots, and regional weather. All these informations. And then I have added analyst take, two, three bold sentences connecting macro trends of it. And then I'm saying as a star that info watch powered by AI, not financial advice. So this is all how you see, and this is the information how it looks. So this is the prompt, the user prompt that I need. Now I should also specify what is my system prompt, because my system prompt also is very important, because that speaks about what is the personality of that the our LLM, okay, or the system. So I'm saying the same thing. There are tools. These are more about how you actually the usage of this tool happens, and then what are the critical things that it needs to follow. Specify. So we are specifying all these things. Okay. So see, imagine this. I've said critical news headlines should be headlines must describe specific real events, who did that, what, when. Never use generic page titles like top headers or something. So you see how we are using the system prompts and the user prompt to get a clear output as we desire. Okay, so we have also specified how I want to see or desire on that. So that's where the system prompt and the user prompt are very important. I'm not going deep into that because anyways I'll share this, so you can look into each of this. You just have to uh, upload. I'll show you how to pull this JSON file, and you can use it in your own n8n. Now, so we have scheduled something, and then we have added the brain, and then we have the nervous system. Now we have to add the body, because we want to see this in Telegram. So how do I do that? Let me close this. So the first thing is you need a Telegram. So you can type in and Telegram will come. Okay, first thing is that. And again, Telegram needs an account, I know pretty sure, because we have already created that Telegram account, but it was a chat that happened. Okay, now here is the trick that I will show you, uh, that you need actually in order to pass on. I mean message and operations message. And so imagine there is a chat ID that always comes in. How do I get this chat ID? Because I do not know. So the best way to get a chat ID is, uh, call Telegram. Okay, get a message. So you know now that how to create a Telegram bot. This is my account or the API key that I have. Now it is asking for a chat ID, right? Imagine this is our old one that we created. So so this was the thing that you created earlier, in the first video that we had on this part one. Okay, let's execute once more. Let me type in again as this is my message. Okay, and it has executed workflow. We'll go back and see this is my message. So we typed in, so that means it is working, right? How it worked in last time. Now how do I get this chat ID? This is the chat ID which is here. Now if you copy this one, definitely the bot that you will create, it will also have a chat ID like this. So you copy this one and go back to the bot. Okay, and this is where I need to paste this chat ID. Okay, if you do not give the chat ID, you will not get an information. So how do I? That's the trick to of getting the chat ID. So let me actually run this, or let's say, let me now. Okay, so that's completed. Okay, by the way, let's use this thing. Let it run. You see, everything is running. I'll open the. It's already there. Sorry. So it's running. You see, it is taking all the informations from all these tools, and then again it is processing the LLM. And you see, the execution has worked. It has given me an output that is there. So all this information, and you can see I have already received this information. One fourth, this is Iran two US aircraft, missing airmans, F-65 Eagle shot down, Trump considered cabinet shakeup, NASA crude oil price surge. We have the Brent oil information. Nifty data is not available. Maybe something is working, or it might be because today is holiday and at this moment Nifty is not working. So market says there is a hub volatile with pressure from geopolitical tensions. Crypto, it tells us this is the price of BTC, this is the price of Ethereum. Uh, Currency INR against dollar is 93.43. The currency INR, SAR, AD, BHD, all are there. Regional weather, I said about Kolkata and I need Bahrain's and all these things. And then the analysts take global market face testing times and Middle East tension. Energy sector should be monitored closely for potential windfall. Investors need to navigate these choppy waters with strategic cautions. So powered by this, and also you see there is a message was sent automatically with n8n. This is, I don't like this, but then I have already created a video. I'll tag on to which is at the screen, how to remove this message. So look into that and you can easily remove this message. So that's the way that we created an entire so we had, so if we have typed this in chat gpt, we might have got informations but not in the structured format. First thing first, so this is a very specific product that we are building for your specific need. Every day at 8 a.m. it is going to trigger and come to your telegram. So you get your entire day starting with all this information that you needed. You can create n number of systems like this based on all these informations that you have got. If you just want only information and not all this, you can just use Serp API and get this thing done. But just because Serp API has 250 search availability, so you might not want to complete all those in one search, because in one search this might take 20 to 21 while you want to extract currency, you want to extract nifty, sensex, or weather, oil price and all these things. So it's better to use the free tools that are already available.